Dear PUBG Mobile fans, we are delighted to invite you to the 2025 PUBG Mobile World Cup at the Esports World Cup in Riyadh, KSA. This exciting event will take place from July 25th to August 3rd at the Boulevard City. We've prepared tons of event perks, such as the PMWC avatar frame, Esports Passion set, Esports Passion parachute, and tons more items. Let's check out how you can get all these rewards. During the tournament, go to the Pandora event page via Lobby, Event Center, Esports to join the event. Mormon from SEA, Top from CSA, Pedrinho from the Americas, Silas from the EU, and Prestige from MENA will guide you through the 5 major parts of the event. They consist of tournament celebration, prediction rewards, esports shop, themed outfit, and champion challenge. Join these activities to earn rewards and collect esports tokens to redeem even more gifts in the esports shop. The more esports tokens you collect, the better rewards you'll get. You can get up to 2,870 esports tokens from the prediction event. It takes place from July 23rd to August 5th and consists of 3 stages that coincide with the tournament: group stage, survival stage, and grand finals. During the group stage, get 20 esports tokens by predicting the 8 teams you think will advance directly to the grand finals. Each correct prediction will grant you an additional 60 tokens. Make a total of 3, 6, and 8 correct predictions to get 300, 680, and 720 tokens, respectively. You'll get another chance during the survival stage to guess the other 8 teams that will make it to the grand finals. The rewards are the same as the group stage. During the grand finals, you must try and predict the ultimate champion. Just predicting will grant 30 tokens, and a correct prediction will grant 400 tokens. If you're unsure about your predictions, you can let your friends' predictions guide you. Find someone reliable, copy their predictions, and wait to be rewarded. The 3 prediction rounds take place on July 27th, July 30th, and August 3rd at 10:45 UTC 0. Rewards are issued the second day after each stage ends at 4 AM UTC 0. You'll receive esports tokens based on your prediction results. Note, esports tokens don't expire and can be used in future esports events. Who do you think will be the ultimate champion? Join the 2025 PMWC event and share your predictions. Invite your friends to join the predictions and watch the tournament unfold.
The highly anticipated addition to the Mummy series outfits is here. Paired with the new Ice Tomb Glider, the Polar Spectrophage set is just what you need to freeze your enemies. Or send them ablaze with the Inferno Fiend set's new upgradable Chained Inferno Uzi. All the Mummy outfits are back. Get them all. Join now and collect the whole series to turn all eyes on the battleground. Event period, July 10th, 2025 through September 2nd, 2025. Pulsar Legionnaire available now. First outfit with special head animations and voice lines. The Pulsar Legionnaire set comes with its own super cute voice lines that can be toggled on or off.
What happened? Bye, friend. Hello, Earth. I'm here.
It also features the upgradable Hyperion ship DSR and Jet Reaver glider with special animations. Experience parachuting like never before. That's not all. Even more rewards await. Event period, July 25th, 2025 through August 26th, 2025. What are you waiting for? Get the new Guild set now.
Cybertron's future is near. Autobots, roll out! This planet reeks of weakness. Your courage reignites my spark. We'll crowd a new load of Cybertron. Roll for freedom. A victory for all sentient beings.
Hello， 大家好，我们是 TT Global 俱乐部，我们是这次电竞世界杯的 PUBG Mobile 队伍。然后我是 TT 区的 King， 我是 TT 的阿杰，
我是 TT 的思婷。
我是 TT 的佩莱伊。
안녕하세요, TRX입니다. 안녕하세요, TRX 현빈입니다. 안녕하세요, TRX 소이지입니다. 안녕하세요, TRX QX입니다.
안녕하세요, TRX CJ입니다.
然后现在我们是来玩一个小小的游戏，叫做选手是谁。
나만 하네. 개그맨입니다. 개그맨 지망했던 친구랑.
小丑，这是小丑。
소이지 선수가 좀 불만이 많거든요. 항상 좀 투덜투덜 되거든요. 다 하긴 하는데 항상 이제 약간 불만이 많아요, 좀. 하긴 하는데 투덜대면서 하는 스타일 약간. 나이스. 현빈. 근데 호진이긴 해, 이거 요즘. 호진이 맨날 맵 본다고 그냥 차 어디다 끼고 바로 핑계 대잖아. 맵 보느라 어쩔 수 없었어 하면서.
这个，
知道他喜欢在厕所里面做草莓蛋糕。
这个。
와 이거 현빈이 아니면 나긴 하거든. 근데 현빈이로 갈까 우리?
난 경석이 형. 옛날부터 확실했어 형은.
아니 근데 현빈이가
아니 봐왔던 게 있잖아 형.
뭘 봐왔는데 도대체?
옛날부터 봐왔어. 이거 둘이 할게요 저.
谁睡的最多？
睡觉睡得最长，最
可是我每天5、6个小时，我还睡得长的。
여기. 어디 총소리 들렸다 하면 그냥 가고 본 친구거든요. 이 CJ 선수.
感谢大家观看这次的小节目，我们赛场上见。
시청해주셔서 감사하고 많은 응원 부탁드립니다.
拜拜。
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day 2 of the PMWC Grand Finals at the 2025 Esports World Cup. 7, pump the brakes.
Breaking! Woo!
Let's open things up today by talking about day 1, namely the teams that were actually struggling a bit straight off the bat. 7.
That's right, one of the favorites teams to win on Championship Sunday. 4 Tribes and Horror Esports not having their optimal performance in day 1.
That's right, but I tell you who was in prime position, Yangon Galacticos and DRX. What's up, bro?
I thought he would be taller. Hopefully the teams in the second page of the overall are going to be able to transform their gameplay if they want to challenge on Championship Sunday with the Smash Rule. This is day 2 of PMWC at EWC 25.
All right, guys, it's day number 2 of the grand final. In fact, I'm here with Max Man. All right, Max, come close, come close. Whoa. Steady on.
Okay, sorry.
All right, we're going to talk about some of the stuff that's gone on, obviously. Yangon #1 right now in the tournament, looking but
Yangon.
I want the hot takes coming into day number 2. Max, what have you got for me?
Actually, day 1 was such a weird day, Kalaris, that actually I think that the champion of PMWC 2025 is currently standing in the bottom 8 of the leaderboard, so they'll initiate a big comeback entering the second day.
Could. It's very close. That's fair. All right, I'll give you my first hot take.
Yes.
All right? I think Yangon, despite being #1, will not win the tournament. I think that the other guys are going to catch up and do something spectacular for day 2. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like they've got like a similar hot take here going into this, but actually I have another hot take. Are you ready for another one? I think that if you blame me for cursing your team and they don't win, maybe your team's not that good in the first place.
That's not bad. I don't mind that.
That's a hot take.
Yeah. I'm still going to blame you, but that's...
Everyone's going to keep blaming me. Still a thing, yeah?
All right, okay, a second one. I think China has to step up on the international stage. I think they've not been able to really hit it home for a while. Never mind Hong Kong. Stop looking back there. Stop.
Okay.
But I think they've got to really kind of kick back into gear somehow, some way, because here at PMWC, it's not hit home for me. They've got to do something better. What do you think about that?
I mean, I agree. We're both currently in 5th position, but we want to see a little bit more. Hopefully they can climb up into 1st place. But as of right now, they're pretty passive. I want to see Suk get more eliminations with the explosive bow.
All right, well, thank you very much, Max. I appreciate that. It's time to check in with 4 Thrives and see what they're up to.
Fourth Rise was actually one of those teams that surprised a lot of people coming into PMWC, being able to qualify 3rd place at a CSA and basically just dominating in the first day when it came down to group stages at PMWC.
What can I say? We are getting ready for the final.
Top, and it's unbelievably placed.
Fourth Drive showed that they are just excellent in Erangel, especially during PMWC. They ended up with 4 top 3 finishes out of 6 matches in Erangel. And not just that, averaging 1,500 damage. And on top of that, 8 eliminations. This team was dominant when it came down to Erangel.
Our Erangel is very strong, but we have worked on our other maps too. Inshallah, you will see the results in Grand Final.
One of the biggest surprises out of Fourth Drives definitely has to be Naki. This player was just such a clutch factor. Even though he wasn't getting the most eliminations, whenever it came down to it, whenever the team actually needed him, he was there to clutch it up. Going into Grand Finals, this is going to be one of the best lobbies that we have seen ever at a global event. Not only do you have the top teams out of group stages, you also have the top teams at a survival stage. So yeah, the level of gameplay is just going to get a lot higher, and I can't put my hand higher because I'm short. Going into the Grand Finals, I'm just hoping Fourth Drives doesn't crumble under the pressure. This is the first time ever a Pakistani team is in the Grand Finals of a global event for PUBG Mobile Esports. Not only just that, they could make history by winning that championship and not only becoming the first team from Pakistan in the Grand Finals, but becoming the first team from Pakistan to be champions of a global event.
It would be an honor to be the first Pakistani team to win a world championship for our country, and we will give 100%.
That was rude, Seven.
You know what was rude? Me picking Fourth Drives, the team that ended up 2nd place in group stage. And yesterday on day 1 of the PMWC at EWC 25 Grand Finals, they just weren't able to perform. And honestly, I think if this team continues to perform like this, they're just not going to be able to win the championship. So Fourth Drives, I need you to wake up.
Step it up. I want to say the same thing, though, Seven, about Regnum Karya. Where have we seen them? This is not the team we saw in PMGC. This is not the team we saw in PMGO even. This feels like a completely different team. They've got 12 matches left, maybe less with that Smash roll. If they don't step up soon, it is going to be the end of the road for them.
And I mean, if we're going to be throwing another team under the bus, we got to throw in Team Falcons. This team, I said it earlier when I got here with Barney, they got 1 chicken dinner and they got a total of 11 placement points.
Oof.
Team Falcons, what are we doing? Wake up, baby. This is day 2 of the PMWC at EWC 25.
It is. Do something quick.
I'm joined alongside Ralph from none other than Team Falcons. Our first day of Grand Finals has just concluded, but you boys started off today playing a little bit more defensively. Obviously, that kind of ramped up as the day went on, but how do you feel this compared to your performance during Survival Stage?
I feel compared to Survival Stage, we played worse today, to be honest. I don't think we got the chance to play our gameplay. I also think there was some bad decision making, and hopefully we can work on that for tomorrow.
Well, all is not lost because you boys walked away with a winner-winner chicken dinner in the 4th match of the day. Obviously, the circle favored you just a little bit, but what did you kind of change in your approach in order to end on 12 eliminations?
We tried to move a bit quicker on that match, scout more, take more positions towards the center. Of course, we got zone blessed, I would say, but we played it right at the same time. Like, we made the right moves to secure the chicken dinner.
Well, in match 5, you had a bit of a tense situation where Narvalo was up against none other than Alter Ego. Do you feel like it was maybe not the best approach for him to overextend to try and secure that elimination?
I think at that situation he had no other options but to go for the elimination, because if he continued the rotation he would die. It was my call for him to go get the turf, get at least one more point, because his car was already almost blown up, you know.
Damn, they're out of coffee. Sorry, I've got just the thing for this. 7-Way SG, get in here. Thank you so much. Now, get out of here.
Fantastic. Well, we just heard a little bit from the Falcons, and we're going to continue to talk about them a little bit with a hot take from Blank.
Yeah, I got to straight cook these guys, roast them a little bit, because the bird is feeling fairly charred right now. At the moment, that team is sort of just Koa a little bit. Ralph even tried to eliminate him earlier with a nade, but surprisingly, we were able to bring it back together. I do think, personally, for the Falcons, Ralph's a bit of a doubter right now. He's doubting his own performance when we know he's a great IGL. There's been some moments of greatness from this guy. I think he's just got to believe himself a little bit more. A bit more of a wholesome approach to it, but John's going to get a bit more spicy with things now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm going to talk about the end of the tournament, how things are going to be closing down here. The Smash ruling is, of course, in effect on day 3, and I'm going to be looking forward to that. But I'm thinking that if there is a Smash rule victory, it's not going to be from a points leader. It's going to be from a team coming through from behind and snatching that crown away from them. It's going to be exciting towards the end, but we're going to have to find out how things will unfold as we head over to the Battlegrounds. But first, we tuned in with Alpha Gaming.
I think Alpha Gaming were able to make it quite easily through the group stage because their fragging power is just that strong that they can just kind of obliterate any lobby. This is a team that can just eliminate everyone quite easily, and because of that, they make it from the group stage right into the finals pretty damn easily.
This is a great wrap from Alpha Gaming. The lineup as well is beautiful to see. Alpha Gaming take the chicken dinner.
Харин тодорхой хэмжээнд зөндөө өөрчлөлт байгаа. Гэхдээ ер нь бол одоо нөгөө туршиж үзсэн юмнууд дээр яг үндэслээд ярина.
I do think having a lot of fraggers with a big ego is an issue, and I think that a lot of internal issues could be happening because everyone has a different idea of how they want to execute the game plan. I mean, you have Top, PMGC MVP, you have Zio, also PMGC MVP, now Doc that has been a PMGO MVP. Everyone has found success in the past, and everyone maybe has a different idea of what they want to execute going into the game. So internally, I think that could cause some issues, but if they can fix it again, this team could be taking home this PMWC trophy.
За одоо энэ тоглогчтой одоо ер нь IGL-ихэд ер нь ямар ч асуудалгүй байгаа. Яагаад гэвэл одоо бүгд туршлагатай тоглогчд учраас ер нь ямар нэгэн асуудал гарахгүй төвхтэй зүйл ч юм уу ер нь нэг тоглолт нь ерөөсөө нөлөөлөхгүй байгаа.
I do think Doc could take home the best IGL award. There's going to be a lot of competition for that role though, because you're looking at players like maybe IQ from 4 Thrives who could be taking it home. It's going to be a tough one. I think that APG have shown over the years, even as 4MV, that they are one of the best teams macro-wise. They can rotate so efficiently in really good positions. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's the one to take it away, but knowing Doc, he might also try and be the best fragger in the lobby.
Ер нь World Cup бол мэдээж том тэмцээн. Тэгээд ер нь бас бусад тэмцээнүүдийг бодвол шагналын нь ер нь хамаагүй өндөр. Ер нь тийм болохоор ер нь нэлээд чухал.
And by the way, Doc is about to become a father, so maybe this PMWC is even more important to him as he could try and take home a lot of money to buy diapers.
Тэгээс алдсан ч онсон ч дэмжээрэй л гэж хэлээ да.
A lot of money on the line, a lot of diapers on the line. Day 2 of the grand final here for PMWC at the Esports World Cup 25. And we have got ourselves another 6 games to determine who is going to be able to ascend the mountain and get themselves a position of power. Joining me to start things off, we have ourselves 7Worlds Gaming, we have Neptura, we have Max Man. Max Man, do you think that we are going to see Yangon stay at number 1 for today, for the rest of the day?
Or no.
Okay, all right. Well.
No, don't think so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's it. That's all I have on that. Yesterday was such a weird day. I think we're going to have the leaderboards all over the place. And I think, as I said earlier, my hot take is our champion is currently standing in the bottom 8. So there's going to be a big comeback today.
That's an exciting prospect because, of course, if they can fight back, obviously yesterday was a very close day, 7. But now, if they do fight back, which they very reasonably could, we could go into the last day with an insane leaderboard.
I mean, for this team, one thing I really enjoyed was how adaptable they were. Not only did we see them being able to adapt whenever they ended up going to Nova, but we also saw the landing spot being able to adapt. They ended up going to Grades, south of George. That was quite a pleasant surprise for me.
Yeah, another pleasant surprise that I saw was actually Alter Ego able to maintain a little bit more of that consistency, even though we did have some weird zones, some weird games. They were able to still keep on top of things and keep that top 5 position, which, again, going into that Smash Rule threshold point, could be really, really good for them.
The Jamil Motorsports walk in here for all of these arriving players to get ready for day number 2 of our grand final. And understandably, teams like Horror are going to need to step things up alongside all these other guys who fell by the wayside a little bit. And as Neptura's bringing up here, 7, even if you don't end up at number 1 by the end of the day, try your very best to keep up with that number 1, just in case the Smash Zone begins.
That's going to be right. I mean, especially going into tomorrow, you don't want to have a team that's in first place with a 30-point lead, because now you're going to have to catch up to them. And if that team comes off hot, Max, they're going to be able to get into that Smash Zone and possibly win via Smash Rule.
A big point lead after day 2 is just going to be horrendous for all of the lobby right now. You want to make sure that gap is just as small as possible, which it is currently small. But is that going to remain the case if they get, like, let's say 2 wins in a row or something like that we have witnessed here at PMWC on this stage? It's going to be a scary one, but keep in mind here that the teams at the top, everyone's going to try and create that lead, so it's going to be very competitive here for day 2.
Let's check in with the Gadia top players here from our finals so far and see how all of these teams are shaped up and looking good to go. As we take a look back at what was going on, we started off with Sandhawk, which for quite a few of us, 7, was kind of the most exciting match of the day. And then everything else went weird from there.
It's my favorite map. All right, and I was happy to see it. And I was super happy to see him actually being able to perform. And I'm talking about Alter Ego. You were talking about them earlier. I enjoyed how much control of Trifecta that team was able to show. It seemed like we were actually watching that game. We're like, okay, if this team is going to be playing like this the whole day, they're more than likely going to become the champion. Luckily for everybody else, that didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen. Those circles just were not going in their favor. Even when they did, they just were unable to actually get that control back on the board like we saw on Sandhawk. So maybe if they have a few extra games today, they start off on the Sandhawk doing well and keep that rolling a couple more games, they should be really good to go.
That's true. You're wearing kind of Alter Ego colors today, actually.
I kind of am, actually.
Are you up for some Alter Ego gameplay? Is that what I'm thinking?
Yes. Yeah. I'm supporting via fashion.
Is she jumping the boat? You're not a Team Falcon supporter anymore?
No, I'm always team.
Where's the green and white?
That is crazy.
I know. Well, where's my jersey? If you give me the jersey, then I'll wear it.
That is the second time she has pitched to get a jersey.
No, only because I was told I was going to get one. Only because I was told I was going to get one.
No. I like this better than the jersey. This is looking fantastic. But Maxman, as things do break down here, Alter Ego, of course, I do think are one of the bigger favorites to try and do something, especially from what I saw in the group stage. Yeah. Well, how are you seeing a prospect here for them?
So for Alter Ego, I have one thing that I would like to see them adjust. We saw on Sanok, their split was very controlling. I really enjoyed that. When you look at Miramar, they were overly eager to split again. They just want to split in every single map, but there are times where splits are not the answer. Sometimes you just got to bunker down, regroup, hold a position very defensively, and that's how you can also try and be consistent on other maps. So if Alter Ego adjust their splits to sometimes just stick together, maybe they can just be a little bit more consistent on your Wrangles and Miramars.
Well, for all the weebs out there like Maxman, we got the Crunchyroll reactions coming in. What's wrong?
I love it.
You love anime, and you can check it all out at Crunchyroll and check out all of these reactions coming in as well, Neptura, because all of these players playing for glory. It looked like our South Korean overlords had some good times yesterday as well.
Yeah, they actually had some really good games. I mean, again, not the most dominant games that we wanted to see from them, but certainly, you know, DRX were able to take what was given to them and multiply it a little bit. Not the biggest elimination win we've seen from them, but still really, really nice. They are up in the top spots. They can contend for that smash point.
Yes.
And so that is exactly where they need to be at end of day 1.
We've got weeaboos like Maxman. We've got Korea boos like me and Neptura 7. We like Korea. How about you? Do you like Korea?
I like their food. I don't like how Korea has been playing.
What about the team?
I mean, if we're gonna be talking about the team, I didn't want to be this negative right away. But Nongshim Red Force, I mean, this team, I want to see a little bit more reaction out of this team because yesterday they ended up giving a win. The only win that Regnum Karya got, it was gifted by Nongshim Red Force. Nongshim Red Force, I want to see them being a little bit more proactive early on. Don't wait until the end like you guys were able to do yesterday, where you pretty much stayed in the compound the whole match and then decided to move at the wrong time. But I'm looking to see a bit of an improvement out of them, Max.
Take a look at that overall here, Max, and see how they've all shaped on up. And so what do you think, Max?
I mean, look at that Korea. DRX, of course, second place, a really good day. They've been hyper consistent yesterday. Looking back at their results, they got themselves a 4th place, 10th place. That was their worst result. Then a 2nd, a 3rd, a 1st, and a 4th place. So always reaching that late game, always getting a lot of placement points. But when we look at, again, the fact that we have Smash rules in here, PMWC, it does scare me that how quickly could they get into that Smash zone, get the extra 10 points if they are, let's say, leading the pack at the end of day 2. I think that would take a lot of time, meaning they could possibly lose that top spot to another squad that's just a little bit more frag-oriented.
The same thing goes for Weibo Gaming, though. You're talking about that consistency. Yesterday, they had 5 out of 6 top 8 finishes. Only one of those games were they in 13th position, actually. So it is a really good start. You see a little bit of consistency there, but they need to build on that. Much like DRX, they need to make sure that they can do both to secure that Smash point.
I mean, you're talking about consistency. You were asking me if I actually like the South Korean teams. I did enjoy the consistency out of DRX. They ended up with 5 top 4 finishes. That is just impressive for that squad. Coming in today, I want to see more fragging out of them.
Let's move on our 9th through 16th as well and see how all of these teams need to catch up. If Max Man's predictions are correct, which is rare, we will potentially see a champion come out from this bracket, Max.
It wasn't a prediction, it was a hot take.
That's not a prediction? Okay, yeah.
Maybe. I mean, if I'm correct, yes. If it's not, it's just a hot take. We'll see how it goes for the rest of the day. But no, 2 teams that, I mean, one in particular after the group stage, here 7, 4 Thrives. Right, from Pakistan, we were like so hyped because every player were doing so well. Noki stepped up in the group stage. The rotations were strong. They were getting wins. We were like 4 Thrives. Maybe the dream for Pakistan is coming alive. But unfortunately here, day 1 of the finals didn't quite go as planned.
Polaris is not going to back you on this. I'm going to back you on this. I also think that the team that's going to end up winning on Sunday is going to be on that second page of the overall. But it all comes down on how they're going to start off today. They cannot start off slow. We cannot allow them to get into a mindset. And you were talking about 4 Thrives. 4 Thrives, I don't want to end up seeing a hot drop once again in Sandhawk. I was getting a chance to talk to Phallic. I was like, please switch it. He's like, we have no other option. So more than likely, we're going to end up seeing a hot drop.
No other option?
That's the vibe.
Which is insane.
Sorry. Oh my goodness.
Hey, I mean,
not good.
I mean, at least they're sticking to their guns, right? You know, we wanted to see them. No, what I mean is, no, listen to me. Listen. We've always wanted them to just follow through with what they want to do. If they make a decision, do it. At least they're doing what we wanted them to do, just not in the right way. We don't want you to hot drop. Please stop. But at least they're following through.
Stop it, please. I mean, even trash dropping, I feel like, and just going for some compounds here and there. You look at teams like, actually, now that I think about it, Yangon, who actually moved away from Paradise in some of these games, trash looted, and look where they are, Max. There is options.
There are other ways. Not even just that. Yangon also changed from Nova over to Crates into George Ball. Like, they are actively changing their drop locations. You can do the same. I think Power have done it multiple times, but you go for the compounds south of Hartin, and you don't have to fight Power anymore. That would be something I would like to see, but known 4 Thrives, they might be a little bit overcommitted to Hartin.
Well, of course, some of our top performers as well as some people's expectations for teams like Falcons. And I guess I'll just come to Neptura for that, since 7 is now looking her directly in the face about Falcons.
Hi.
Talk to us about Falcons, please.
Yeah, what's up with
I'll talk about Falcons. I like Falcons. Listen, they have a good foundation. They're obviously a good team. They have a good strategy. My problem is that they don't seem to believe that they have a good strategy. When you talk about mindset, when you think about the mentality of these players, they are kind of an emotional team. Their results heavily weigh on their mind. So for me, I want them to step back, erase the mistakes from their mind, go game by game, and actually start believing in the strategy they've built.
It's weird, right? Because I feel like they should almost erase the entirety of yesterday. Because if you look at that graph, where did it peak? The one time the circle comes towards Museum and they're able to get what effectively should have been their win to begin with. Everything else didn't materialize, so wipe the slate clean, bring something new to today and represent Falcons proud?
I do think they're going to bring something new on the board today because I talked to Narvalo. He's not feeling great today. He had a little bit of a dentist appointment. So if we do see Snowick's playing, maybe he's going to replace him. But Narvalo was one of the top performers too for the team. So if he's not feeling it today, that could really hurt their performances even more today.
Well, let's take a look at the power ranking then and see where you guys have placed some of these teams 7. What do you think? Oh, championship caliber Falcons.
No.
Well,
That wasn't me. That wasn't me. I'll talk about APG because that team was one team that was actually able to impress me with the way that they were able to play yesterday. We saw them playing a bit more compact. We saw Doc staying within the team. And at one point, Max, actually, it was Doc being the last player alive for this team, which I had to double check. I even put on my glasses.
Yeah. No, but I have to echo your point. The rotates were good from them, but they're always in these strong positions and they just don't have the full team. If they play the same way, and they just have 3, maybe even 4 players, I think they can actually convert wins here, but they just keep losing players upon rotation, and that just really hurts their opportunities to get these chicken dinners.
I'm sure it seems like you guys have put in the bye-bye category both 7 and Max's predictions, but mine and yours predictions aren't in the bye-bye category. I think we're doing well.
I think we're doing very well. I think these two don't know what they're talking about.
Are in the bin.
You supported Falcons and now you're going for Alter Ego. I will not take your criticism.
I said Falcons.
Okay, Max, king of the bins.
Thank you for using my entire title there. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I do. We're okay. We're having too much fun here. We're having too much fun. We've got a few moments before we get into our next games here, 7. So what are you looking out for? Of course, Sandhawk is a very important map. We're expecting, that 4 thrives situation to continue to develop, but they're not here when it comes to the top performance from Sandhawk so far. So they've got to really step things up.
For 4 thrives, we know that hot drop is going to happen. I'm going to be looking at them hopefully winning the hot drop. If that doesn't happen, if they end up losing a player, try to find a way to just back out of it. It's an option. You can back out of a hot drop. You don't have to fully commit to it, especially if you get some loot and they give you a chance to back out of it.
Max?
Looking at this one, I'm looking at Ida in particular, one of the top performers on Sandhawk. They're currently standing in 8th position, tied with Regnum. They're about 30 points away from first place. You want to stay close to that first place position at the end of today. If they can start hot with the Sandhawk, they could be in contention until the end of the second day.
Mr.
I think Cora need a good game today if they want to do a really good day today. So for them, game 1 is really important. They need to do well.
Yes, please.
Good day today.
You're keen for that, huh, Max?
I would like that very much, yes.
Sky almost beat him up earlier.
Yeah.
He did not like me.
He was pulling some faces at you. Wait, I saw that. All right, well, thank you very much. We've had a lot of fun here at the desk, apparently, and now we're about to have a lot of fun for day number 2 of the grand final here for PMWC.
The defending champions will not be going through to the finals.
Absolutely insanity.
This is a sad sight for Alpha 7.
Four thrives on top again and again. Power has more control over the circle.
Alter Egos are looking like the top dogs here.
Yesterday, 16 teams brought flair, grit, and passion to the main stage. Some made bold statements whilst others tripped at the starting line, but today could be the day that the tides turn. My name is Barney Banks and I am your host, and welcome to day 2 of the PMWC Grand Finals at the 2025 Esports World Cup. And if you thought day 1 was wild, you haven't seen anything yet, because today the stakes are higher and every round intensifies. And so, with that being said, it is time to introduce your finalists once again to the main stage, kicking things off with EDA Esports. Yangon Galacticos. Thunder Talk Global. Team Falcons. Team Secret. Nongshim Red Force. Alpha Gaming. E Arena. Weibo Gaming. Regnum Carrier Esports. DRX. Power Esports. Four Thrives Esports. Flux Esports. Alter Ego RS. Horror Esports. Today, the pressure builds. Whether your team came out swinging yesterday or you are hungry for redemption, today is where the story truly starts to take shape. And so, with that being said, it is time for day 2 of the PMWC Grand Finals.
Made for this. Tell them I was made for this. I was made for this. Told you that I was made for this moment. Totally unfazed when I'm in the cage with opponents. Give me your best shot, but either way, man, I'm going. Don't make a difference like one drop of rain in the ocean. So buckle up if you with it. Man, ain't playing around, but getting down to some business. Step to the plate, you getting naked with quickness. Set the date, cause they ain't gon' wanna mix this. So while you giving word to your crew, allow me to set it off without further ado. So if you and your homies ready for this show, there's nothing left to be said. Just get ready and let's go.
Yangon Galacticos was able to set the tone in day number 1. Now, can everyone else keep up? They are in number 1 right now here. They are staring down the potential of winning PMWC, and everybody else is going to have to try and move forwards. Even Optimus Prime is hoping for them to be able to do something against Yangon Galacticos at number 1.
No.
Optimum Prime.
I was almost taller than him.
What is that? Well, he ate the logo of Weibo?
That's terrifying. Oh, what is that? That's an abomination.
Okay, actually, talking about Weibo, I'll just move on to them, I guess. You said it, Kalash, in our hot take segment. You want to see more from China.
Yep.
Weibo, I believe they can adapt, be a little bit less, narrow-minded sometimes on some of their fights, and actually step up. I would love to see them be maybe in top 3 at the end of today, be in reach of getting in the smash zone for tomorrow.
And the big takeaway for me for that team was yesterday with Sug. I love the explosive bow, but please don't just get too tunnel vision with it. Make sure you keep an eye on what's happening around you as well.
Maybe play DPS sometimes. It's what it's good.
Yeah, that's also doable, right? You can still do that. Yes, we want to see the explosive bow a little bit, but you're right. Both of you are right. The tunnel vision thing is the major issue with them. They have done really well so far to be up at that top spot, but they need to do more. They need to do more, yes.
Seven, your thoughts coming into Sandhawk?
Thoughts coming into Sandhawk, it's a lot of teams kind of sometimes just disregard Sandhawk, but if we actually take a look at what happened yesterday with Alter Ego, if it wasn't up to Alter Ego being able to get that win and being able to back it up with the eliminations, they will be nowhere near the top 4. So for all of those other teams, and this is kind of why we're still in 4 Thrives, you know what, don't hot drop. You need to make sure you get enough points here in Sandhawk to set the momentum for the day.
It truly sets the pace, and it is a brutal one to do it on. Right, thank you very much, guys. Time to head on to our first game of day 2 here for PMWC Grand Finals.
Thank you very much, Kalaris. As always, great to get the insight from the desk there to set the stage, and physically it is rising in front of you. The tension, the atmosphere, and the physical manifestation of what these teams are fighting for, that gorgeous trophy blank.
On the plinth at the top of the pyramid, which all the players are currently clambering, trying to get towards the zenith and take that trophy home with them. It will be concluded in just 2 days. One of those days.
Big today.
Right now,
yeah.
In fact. As we come over from the top side of Sandhawk down towards the south side. Regnum Kai out nice and early around Cow at the moment. And it will be the second to last time we see Sandhawk here over at the playoffs for PMWC at EWC.
Curious as well, of course, of how things are going to go for some of these squads. We'll dial in. Oh, hang on a minute. Is it happening again? Power Gaming on the drop blank, the back-to-back versus 4 Thrives.
Yesterday it went very badly for 4 Thrives, almost immediately going down with Power coming out on top there. Let's see if 4 Thrives can get anything done, because right now they're in 13th place. Very much different to what we expected from them coming off the back of that group stage. Maybe they're feeling a little bit cold into this, but they back off over towards the western side of Hartin. Try and stall things out for a little bit longer while they find their footing versus Power.
I believe that was nearly a clean sweep last time as well. I think at most they lost 1 player and then made it out, obviously just completely dismantling the entirety of the 4 Thrives roster. Which you think about how much that threw a curveball into their day, Blank. Oof. If this happens again here, it could be a crazy start for Power. We'll dial in, we'll see how it develops.
Yeah, with the circle as well, heading up towards the northwest side of the map, this fight becomes very, very important, like you say. Al-Haji already taken around about 20% damage here. Sending the shots through with the Tommy. Round and back. 4 Thrives off. It's a good setup from 4 Thrives, actually, trying to control the western edge. Having sightlines looking up through the pathways as well. It does leave Power a little bit uncomfortable.
I mean, Falak just got vision there. Timing on the reload. Al-Haji on the peek back out. Bit of chip damage. That causes Falak to back off. Try and at least play for some time with the delay. Throw the flash back over. You got IQ up on the roof. And obviously, this is the verticality that you're talking about. Adds another element. For Hedans in the back line with Easy. This roof can provide so much additional cover though, so he can peek into them, and now Hadji just can't quite get the angle. If he peeks through in the building, it's going to be really bad for him. Falak even re-engaging back onto Ragnar there and getting the first knock. T24.
Oh
my goodness! It's heavy. Big damage done. Noki with the reply. Instantly engaging to clean up onto the down players as well.
The rest of Power just not there to follow up, and Al Hadji with a heroic play will find two, but not quite enough. Dropping Power now down to just the one player, and 4Thrives come ahead of it without losing a single so far. Easy is going to bring something to the table, but it looks like he brought nothing with him but an empty plate. And Power go down first.
Oh, and you could see the stand up there. Looked like Noki popping off immediately, getting loud in the arena. They're all in the building blank. You see each other, you hear that, you see that. Memories from yesterday suddenly tainted for Power.
It was a great start for them. They felt good off the back of it. They ended up 6th place yesterday, around about 38 points, which is middle of the pack, I would say, in terms of teams that want to challenge for that first place. Well, yeah, going down here on Sandhawk early on a team that does prioritize a lot of those eliminations. I mean, we saw yesterday finishing off, I think it was the 3rd game, they had 25 elims, 0 placement points. So not being able to capitalize on a map like Sandhawk, which is very much elim heavy, that feels rough. That certainly feels rough for you. In the meantime, we've had teams rotating across. Here's Yangon Galacticos, a team that Kale thought would not be continuing.
We'll see if they can prove that the firepower is still there. If Galacticos can cast a shadow over the lobby once more again today. Already a nice start, keeping all 4 players topped up on HP and walking away with that 1 elim. And it's funny, actually, you raise a really good point with that, because I think Power, right, what was it, 9 elims on the game alone on the first game yesterday? Yep. And that was even with Easy having to kind of rat it out late game as a solo.
Oh, yeah.
He got the backstab onto Alter Ego. Oh, man. God, the storyline's developing, Blank. Interesting stuff.
Very much so. Speaking of Alter, a slightly quicker approach over towards the northwest side. Heading across the shallows. They will have to come up against Ida, who has been a constant problem for them, actually, over in this playoff. They managed to squeeze themselves over towards the edge. In the meantime, the rest of Ida is currently battling off against Alpha. It's a nice shot, but it's immediately replied onto.
Yes, Darkin in the back line. They've got the connection there. Tap straight to the cranium on Refus. Roll up from Alter Ego. They sense weakness and want to see if they can dive in to snatch away some of these points as well. Rita inside with at least a little bit of cover to play. We've got Alva on a wide berth around the edge as well, so he can cover for the team if they further back whilst they're advancing up close. Rosemary looking for the engagement here. Loves these close quarters fights.
S12K in his hands. Rita with the DBS is a distraction there that comes through, and at least they're able to find it. The Krypton almost dancing off in the distance, throwing up the jazz hands, distracts him actually for long enough. It's a wild play. It's almost a comical play. And it allows Alter Ego to find that elim. They're laughing about it as well. So they showed Krypton's just looking like a clown in the distance. But it is so distracting.
Yeah, the smoke screen went up. The jazz hands to dissipate it.
Bonk. Check this out. It's a little water on your face. Oh, got you.
Oh, mate. It's a great bit of comedy. Can't believe they're not only looking very dominant in PUBG Mobile, but they're practicing stand-up comedy routines.
Yeah, it's amazing. And stand-up that they'll have to in this game, right? I mean, starting in 4th place is a prime opportunity to get a little bit further into this one. They took a really quick rotate over towards northwest side, and Alter Ego very much a team that is not afraid to go for these quick maneuvers, and I think they understood that. Their last Sandhawk, it was a little bit slow. In the meantime, though, 4Thrives are able to get a cheeky shot down towards the southern edge. That's onto Regnum Kaya, and so easy finding Scarface from Fireflux. So a lot popping off on the map, but it's actually quite difficult to keep track of it all as we get ourselves into more and more uncomfortable and favorable locations on the maps for this teams.
I had to quickly adjust my eye line, look over towards the map screen on that one before Thrive's getting a knock on Loxy. He was quite far out compared to the rest of the squad, but had some cover. They've been able to go back over and look to pick him back up. So a few resources that are going to need to be burned on that one. DRX were on screen there as well, taking shots over towards Fireflux that I think it's fair to say yesterday, it felt like those two teams were scrapping early. We saw a similar start in game one as well, where DRX were able to snatch away a player, and it was far slower for Fireflux yesterday, Blank.
Very difficult. They got themselves locked in a little bit. I think it is hard, especially in this kind of lobby. There is a massive amount of teams that do like to rotate on the south side of the map past Painan, and it's creating a lot of traffic jams, which is why I think, actually, we saw Alter Ego go for that aggressive play, and as soon as they heard that fighting, they could not afford not to third party there. They had to go for something a little bit more quick and aggressive because they wanted to secure location on the southeast side. Luckily for them as well, the circle centers up a little bit over towards the east, so they can continue to play over towards this coastal edge. Saw a big wrap through there on our screens from Fireflux over towards the valley, which is not a comfortable position to be in.
No, and it was uncomfortable in the rotate as well, losing 2 players now in total, and one of them being Scarface. Obviously, Sketch and Carface. Oh, hang on. That's the way you could tie it in. Kind of a jumble up of the letters. Ketch and Scarface were quite a lethal duo in how they were playing off one another. Instead, obviously, fragmenting that, you take Scarface out of the equation early. Ketch is still up, but I think you need both of them. The way they were playing off one another looked really good. The setups from distance. So we'll see if that comes back to haunt them. If the rough day from yesterday will begin to bleed into today's games. Team Secret here, nade on top. That's Sky from Hora kicking off the engagement. He's got one more remaining. Oh, close nade. A little bit late on the detonation. Team Secret find him. Already, Sky down and out. Shot back over. No fear, at least catches one.
It's a weird engagement from Hora, honestly, getting themselves caught up in the mix of it. This is over towards the north side before they're crossing on that northern bridge to Hatin. I respect the teams that are trying to go for this more often. Yangon Galacticos as well found themselves a knock over towards Regnum Karya in the midst of all that. Falak has moved down over towards Regnum Karya, and Loxy replies in kind, sending a nade over his way, signed and delivered.
Yeah, curious if we can get vision on that one. Obviously, the Team Secret fight still being elongated here. Bit of a spread bout between the two of them. But that is a bold dive in. I mean, it's classic Falak, right? It feels like if he's presented with an opportunity, he'll try and grab it with both hands. Instantly engaged on there by Regnum Karya, though.
You're tempted to take the high ground that sits over towards that western side. It's an okay spot. There is a lot of sight lines looking down towards it. And I think Regnum Karya is just pulling themselves off from that angle as well. Now they know that the shot's coming in from the eastern side. It's smart from them. See if Noki's able to pick Falak up again. Regnum Karya might just be baiting that knock. Meantime, Team Secret will go down with No Fear and Sleepy, picking up those final members. Murnat, though, will stick his nose in. Falak finally will bleed out on that north side. Loxy picking up that Elim with the nade.
Yeah, and I thought that was the setup there as well. Obviously, you know, leave more time for you to try and run the risk of going to pick up Falak and then lose another player because of it.
There's a lot of fighting going on down the side. I'm glad we actually stop in with DRX as well as E-Arena. E-Arena has been impressive. I think it's a team that we didn't expect a whole lot out of, but have actually impressed quite a bit. But Alter Ego are in front of them. This circle is disgusting. This is a really, really horrible circle for a lot of teams. The entirety of the river just encompassing here, a lot of unplayable space. Yes, there's the shallows. Weibo have a member set in stone over towards the island as well. This is grim, dude.
Yeah, majority water in the upcoming zones. You've got to get a move on and try and establish some kind of actual safe playground. Already, fights continuing here as well. It's the arena that are head-to-head versus DRX. Soaz is down at the minute. He's been knocked, but the shot's over, but they replied with one full confirmation onto Joker. Hang on a minute. Alter Ego as well. That's the rock up onto Falcons with a split. 2 of the players spotted out there. Full confirmation onto one. You're able to shut that down. So again, Falcons going for the 2-2 group up. Doesn't work when they run into Alter Ego. Noki, going for the push up against Fireflux, and they're able to grab onto that one.
It was realistically their big play that they had to make as well from 4 Thrives to head down towards this valley. They couldn't swipe over towards the right side. There's a lot of angles coming through from the east towards them. So 4thrives will pick up the valley. They know that they can't push over towards Regnum Kai after they lost a player. T24 goes down in the back to an angle. Hard to pick him up as well. We'll have to crawl across.
I didn't quite see it, but you certainly heard it, and the damage there from Rosemary was enough to really put the backs up for DRX on the rotate through the vehicle. Oh, a bit of space between them as well. Hyunbin just on the cliff face here. We're back up from the team, but it's a clean divide down the middle. Alter Ego just trying to test the waters, throwing out those nades, seeing if they can get the chip damage in to have a better read on where they've gone.
Alter Ego just very much looking over towards that location. Like you say, testing the waters with the nades, trying to grab some hit markers, understand where DRX is currently playing. Regnum Kaya takes down another, and they were certainly baiting out that pick as well. I think that's now 4thrives down to just the singular over in Noki, who has been fairly clutch in the past as just a solo. But it starts to get very heated down towards the southwest side with Falcons moving through, Koa gliding up the hill right now.
Yeah, showing off his former professional ice skating skills there. But Krypton, he's ready for it. Open ground, no cover, no trees to provide any semblance of protection, so it's an easy burst. And suddenly it goes down to one, just Koa. Obviously Falcons prefer to play these fast, slower games on Sandhawk. Ever since they went into that survival stage, something changed. Still though, you've got teams just throwing you into the carnage in these lobbies. They just don't get to play the way they want to. Non-Shin Red Force even making an appearance over in the Elim feed versus E-Arena, whilst Koa just has to sit and hope.
Yeah, Koa is going to get hard. And again, this is the big difference between Falcons and a team like Alter Ego, where the Falcons just took too long to make this cross. Yeah. Alter Ego was much more prepared to take the risk. And I think in the playoffs, especially with Smash ruling, you have to take risks on day 1 and day 2 if you want to make it through to the end. This circle actually pushes over towards Bootcamp, actually giving Non-Shin Red Force an area to play on the coastal edge of Bootcamp. I think that is one player going down from Horror, actually. Weibo Gaming with he actually holding his own. Does have a teammate in Suk over towards the western side, so big split coming through from Weibo.
It really is only a matter of time until Koa goes down, but you could see the backstab there at least onto Alter Ego, resulting in one player being knocked. So a bit of a stab up close and personal with a cook on the nade as well. Horror looking to get revenge against Weibo. If they push their way up, cheeky nade could be enough. It's a molly through the window, set fire to the cover that he's got to work with. Shots in the back line. That's Yangon that are coming in from the side as well. They actually get that full confirmation onto he as he peeks and know about Sleepy.
Yangon gets very lucky. Right, up towards the top side. They have had some good elims so far. They've been controlling the zone. That's 4thrives now out. But for Yangon, this circle is just unheard of, right? It doesn't happen very often, but it's giving Yangon way more time than they necessarily should have had here on a Sandhawk Northwest circle. And they just get to play it out as 4. There is not a small possibility that they're able to get across the shallows and start actually working the game here.
Oh, the Wild West maneuvers coming in. Don't want none of this, brother. Running this. They begun in this. And Hyunbin hitting like the Buffalo Soldier up close versus Non-Shin Red Force shuts down another one. There is a couple trades back though, so DRX still suffering from casualties. And Non-Shin, they have been very aggressive in the games we've seen. Even when it feels like they could opt to play slower, play passive, they get riled up and they take the fight to you. Sometimes it's been problematic. In this instance, it's working well.
Now, often to their detriment, but here where it matters most on a chaotic map like Sandhawk, they're certainly finding success off the back of it. Yangon Galacticos making that cross on the shallows. Absolutely no one in position to hold them out. It's so funny to me. So funny to me. And with this circle, they actually have a top 3 possibility quite easily. With the 4 players they're still running with. An awful lot of water in this one. Players are going to start to get those soggy socks. We'll see if they can beat the heat here on Sandhawk just to get dry.
Yeah.
To be honest.
They'll need it. Couple hair dryers, sort themselves out. Like a day at the theme park, Blank. Quick reset after a splish bash on a water ride. For Alter Ego, as much as there was that knock in the back line, Weibo were able to get an angle onto them. You reset from it. Oh, instant tag out, and they crash onto this immediately. Zook with the DBS, taking the advice of the analyst desk. Let's see what he can do up close, though. Good with the first. The Kryptonite against Krypton. Read on the angle. Alpha, see you later. But the backstab is good to save it.
This is the problem, though. We currently have Alpha Gaming coming in from that western side, and this is a bad fight for Alter Ego versus Solo. This could be easily third-partied onto. Teams can start to move up.
Oh, instant engagement to Alpha, though. Rosemary, he was the man in the back line that got one to open it up and bide some time, but it's a quick response back, Blank.
But that's all they needed. They just needed to buy time, and Rosemary gives his life for it whilst they prepare themselves to get back up again. Alva waiting on the doorway, sees a player get out, but there's hard cover in position. But he's going to take the time with a single grenade. Let's see what Reefers can get done with this one. It could be gigantic. Oh, it misses.
So close to blowing up the bits, but maybe he can handle it with a weapon instead. Nonshin on the move up as well, coming round from the ridge side. All of this noise, attracting commotion. Krypton cooks one for the reply. Bounce out the window on the lip. No damage done. Reefus still just waiting for an opportunity to shine. But Alva strikes with the DBS.
There is going to be so much fire coming their way, and Alter Ego laid low by Zook with the DBS. Puts away the bow and arrow, but it's a bullseye straight to the guys from Alter Ego. With only Krypton remaining, tries to take down the final players from Alpha Gaming who got ahead of them. Yangon Galacticos currently dealing with Nongshim Red Force, but they have been the beast inside the lobby.
Yangon. Nades over the top. Meanwhile, in the Elim feed, you can see Regnum Karya taking shots from Hora as well that are playing with confidence at the moment. Just wide on the nade. Panic. And it's not going to work out the way that they were hoping for. The team's getting fragmented. A sliver of HP is all they have. And with that, it's confirmed that they go down. We say goodbye to Yangon. No chance for the chicken dinner, but potentially a surprise in store for Nonshin. Push up on the ridge side with Doc getting close. He's still got nades to play with.
Alpha, the big dogs here, looking to push things further. Currently in third place on the rankings. 2 players to work with. Doc moves up, moves forward. Nongshim Red Force, can they be shut down? Sleepy will be taken out by the play zone, trying to play out that match on the northeast edge. Ida, through all of this, despite the early rundown from Alter Ego, have lived this one out in a compound on this eastern side of the Northwest Island. Kept it chill and look to get quite a few points off the back of this. They are unfortunately being a little bit passive on this one. I feel like they could get a lot more control down towards the southeast side. That compound is nice for cover, but look at all this space that they could be taking.
So many wide open sightlines and the potential for a lot of these Elim points to be soaked up by a few of the teams that are further ahead as well. When you think about Nonshin Red Force with the game they're playing right now, if they can just roam in, close down on Alpha, there's much more that can be done.
I think the thing is, Sarita, they're just scared playing as 2. Doxy will find one. Benny looking over towards Doc now, and it's a good shot backwards somehow, some way. Alpha Gaming come out on top. It's an incredible performance from Nongshim Red Force. They're angry, but Alpha's here to calm them down. The simmer pot finally sits tranquil as Alpha Gaming need to keep pushing here. What an incredible performance from Doc. So low HP, but that adrenaline was thumping.
Oh yeah, Nonshin seeing red off the back of that one. Disgusting plays. Doc, the doctor is certainly in the house and he's looking to operate this one cleanly. They can buy time for it now. Slow it down a little bit. Keep the pressure on.
3 teams, 6 players, 2 on each. It's the battle of the duos. What kind of dialogue these squads can have with one another going forward. Will it be argumentative? Will it be a complete shutdown? Or will it be a drawn-out conversation?
And for Alpha, It's the dream scenario with the teams being ushered closer towards them. The zone starts to force you forward. Loxy was always looking for this lockdown sightline over towards Ida. He's able to grab one with the play zone assisting as the third man for the squad of Regnum Karia. And they look to take the fight straight to them. Cheeky peeks on the head. Doc throwing up for the fists.
Silas?
If he can grab it, Silas commits on the drive-in. Instant pickup from Zol, and it's just Loxy left.
Leaves it all down to Loxy, and Alpha Gaming look to put a win on the cards. Two internationally gifted teams, but it is the squad of killers that will come out on top here. An incredible beginning to day 2 for Alpha Gaming.
In the playoffs already yesterday, Alpha Gaming were able to find placement after placement, surviving late into the early flow of games that we saw. But they're not content with just placements. They want raw chicken dinners to kick off today, and they make it look clean. Heads-up maneuvers, the crash from Nongxin Red Force, the fact that they handle that one and then go on to win it, that is an amazing opener.
It's a team full of big egos on the side of Alpha. It's in the name, realistically, but the fact that the companionship looks so good on that squad right now, everyone's working together. Doc looks nowhere near as outrageous as he used to. He's playing hand in hand with the squad there to get big wins, especially like this one over on Sandhawk.
Cybertron's future is near. Autobots, roll out!
Well, what a circle to start off day 2. And Nepturi yesterday said APG was going to get themselves a win today, and they start off with a banger here to get it rolling on Sandhawk. Joining me, we have 7. We have Maxman, very aggressive. Here for this aggressive Sandhawk 7, where APG gets the win.
It was aggressive, but to be fair, APG didn't really have to do much. They lost a player early on. They were sitting in a compound for the longest time. One thing I do enjoy is how proactive this team was to just fully clear Thunder Talk. As soon as they saw Thunder Talk getting a little bit closer, they went for it. And Doc, we got to talk about Doc. He keeps clutching it for the squad, being the last one alive there at one point. And on top of that, being able to pick up Seoul, which ultimately, that duo is just nasty.
Of course, when you're looking at it, Seoul and Doc are just going to be MVP contenders every single day of the week here. But 22 points on the board for Alpha Gaming. As you said, very quick rotation. Actually, the compound they went for was occupied by a solo of Ida. It was such a valuable compound that, we have to take this fight. If we win it, we're just going to be in a great position for pretty much the rest of this match.
I think both of you were looking at Yangon, though, to be really flying away with this one, considering the position that they had 7. And overall, didn't quite go their way, which then it didn't go Nongshim's way, which then eventually it went Alpha's way.
Yeah, for Yangon Galacticos, we actually enjoyed the 2-2 split that they had in Circle 5. We were saying, okay, they're just waiting to see what the next circle is going to be. They decided to regroup. It ended up working out for them. But surprisingly, Namjoon Red Force, a team that I've been just harping about, they're not aggressive enough. They decided to be aggressive. And I got to give some props to Namjoon Red Force as well, because this team, the way that not only were they able to just take the fight to E-Arena, win that, and also set themselves up to defend fights against DRX.
Yeah, a lot of props to DRX, E-Arena, and the side of Nongshim Red Force, because a lot of teams understood, it keeps on shifting to the eastern side, western side of the northwestern island is not going to be valuable anymore because you're going through that big mountain that's held, as we know, by Thunder Talk. So now they just go for the wide wrap towards Trifecta to try and just survive longer into the game. It's a very, very smart play, but unfortunately, a lot of teams had the same idea, which means you have to fight for that rotate for it to pull it off. And as we saw, that didn't quite work out for E-Arena, but did work out for Nongshim Red Force.
Here comes the match report, and the biggest fan of Doc on the planet, Maxman. Oh, he's so excited already. Talk to me.
I like it. No.
Wait, are you still a fan of Doc?
I'm still a fan of Doc.
Okay.
I'm just not going to predict him and his team ever again. I've been hurt too many times.
That means they might win.
No, I predicted
them. Close.
You remember Star Wars? I used to always pick Star Wars 2. Never won.
So did I.
Yeah, and they didn't work out.
I don't know why I joined you in your predictions, but yeah, for this one, yes, if Maxman does go anywhere near APG, the fans will be out in force to stop Max in his tracks. But taking a look at the highlights, 7.
Yeah, I was looking at the first fight. We were talking about it, 4 Thrives. What are they going to be doing there with the hot drop in Hot Teen? Are they going to be taking the fight once again with power? They did. It ended up coming out in their favor. I have to be happy about what they were able to do in regards to what they did defending that hot drop against power. I'm still not happy with that hot drop though, Max.
That hot drop swing, even though you win it, pretty dominantly so, you're just taking a risk, an unnecessary risk. They get 7 eliminations, but they really have no placement points. And again, they're at the bottom of the rankings. Is that going to be enough for them to climb back up at the top of the leaderboards? Hell no. We need to see actual podium finishes, actual win if 4 Thrives want to be back in the conversation.
I'm with you. I agree. I hate the hot drop, but I am happy that they were able to at least secure 7 points. It is going to be a bit of a confidence boost for this squad that didn't have a good performance at all yesterday. That's at least what you want to be able to do. Hopefully going into tomorrow, as much as I would want to say, you know what, I don't want to see the hot drop, it's probably going to happen again, unless Power decides to just back off.
There was a world in that final moments of the game where Regnum Carrier could have done something about that. Obviously, they were sent towards in the cheat, but I was like, in the US, I was, where are we going? We need maybe a tree or some kind of cover there, 7, but nothing really materialized for Regnum Carrier.
For Regnum Carrier, I'm starting to see a pattern here that what I saw yesterday, they're just playing a little bit too slow for my liking, and they're not scouting enough. Yesterday, it seems like they were just pushing into the circle late. It ended up working for them whenever they got the win because they were a little bit aggressive. I just personally didn't like the play.
Let's take a look at the overalls then and see where this has put Alpha Gaming. Second place with 70 points. It's a huge leap here for Alpha.
There is a little bit of a gap that's being created between 2nd and 3rd place right now. Again, you don't want too big a gap going into your last day's worth of play here at PMWC. That's going to be a bit scary because Yangon Galacticos were able to make it relatively far in this game. They do stay in contention with Alpha Gaming for that 1st place. They will hold on to it for now, but as you go a little bit lower, I kind of want to go back on the conversation of Regnum Carrier. For me, you'll ask me what was peak Regnum Karya. For me, it was then we're playing center 2-2 split. Now they're playing slow edge split. For me, this does not suit this roster that is known to be so aggressive. And as of right now, they're just playing completely differently compared to PMGO. And I want them to go back to the basics, back to the old Regnum Karya, because they can come home with a trophy.
Yeah, just way too slow for my liking. I also would like to see them being able to play in the center. And if you are going to be playing slow, just try to scout a little bit more Regnum Karya, because that's currently what's hurting your chances at actually being able to be successful in this match. And if we go here towards the second page, I mean, this is what I was saying. I was happy that 4Thrives was able to get just some points because of that gap that's currently being created there towards the top.
Considering we have 5 more games today, and then who knows how many games tomorrow, are we writing the arena off? It's 11 points. You need a massive, massive push.
Done for me.
You think so?
I think every game going forward, I'm just going to start taking teams off at the bottom, just like you're out of the conversation entirely.
Yeah, it's difficult. Well, we're moving on to Erangel. We've got 3 of them coming up here, 7. And so far, there's names up there that have had a bit of a harder time, but there's also some names up there that are doing really well so far.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking at Alter Ego. This is a team that, I mean, for their performances yesterday when it came down to Erangel, it was top 10 or above. And I mean, like, I don't mean like below top 10. I don't mean 8th place, 9th place. No, there was 10th, 11th, 11th. For this team, don't do that again. You didn't get a win here in Sandhawk. You cannot afford to just have this kind of performance going into 3 Erangels.
Yeah. All right, well, you guys at home can be involved in not only watching PMWC, but also getting involved in the Airdrop Carnival that is currently going on. The PUBG Mobile Airdrop Carnival is now live, of course. Don't miss out on the final 3 days this weekend. Log in to summon your surprise airdrop. Collect 2025 Airdrop Carnival vouchers for more chances to win official merch, smartphones, BD partner rewards, permanent in-game items, and more. Every participant is guaranteed to win, so come and join the Airdrop Carnival. But coming into we're coming out of Sandhawk, but into Erangel here, Maxman. What are you looking out for Erangel?
I want 4Thrives. Back in PMSL CSA, that was their best map. They were doing so good on the map. They drop relatively center, very peer. They can quickly rotate. They don't fight Alpha Gaming on the Western Bridge. Sandhawk, for me, it's a bit of a write-off because of the hot drop. Again, they can still get back at the top of the leaderboards, but we need to start seeing results right now.
For you guys at home, make sure to tune into the map feed as well. It gives you so much information. You're able to think about those big macro plays. You might even be able to incorporate some of that into your game as well. There's no better way, from my opinion, than watching that map feed and see how these teams rotate, 7.
100% agree, and I'm just smiling over here whenever Max was talking about 4Thrives, because going into Erangel, I'm actually going to be looking at Horror Esports. I want to see if they're going to continue with those 1-2-1 splits, with those 2-2 splits that kind of worked out for them, because yesterday going into Erangel, that was their best performing match. That's when they ended up getting 2nd place with 6 elims and also a 5th place with 4 eliminations. I want to continue to see those kind of improvements here in Erangel.
What is a sadistic lookout? You're looking out for the team he predicted. He's looking out for the team you predicted.
I just don't want to talk about the team from Nepal again. I'm playing it.
You're trying to curse my team now? Wait a second.
This is all kinds of twisted. That's ridiculous. But yes, going on to Erangel, because there's 3 of them. Obviously, yesterday, I think for some of these games, aside from maybe the Potato Hill game, we saw a lot of compound favored positions, right? Metagaming, what goes on in Erangel, can be so easy for some of these teams at this level, Max, because they've played so much Erangel, so they don't want those compound finishes.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be your bread and butter here. You have 3 matches back to back to back. You need to get points on board on the grassy pastures.
All right, thank you very much, boys. Time to get it going. 3 times Erangel. More action coming your way here for PMWC.
Oh, the tension in the air is thick. You could cut it with a knife, looking at the emotions that are on display from our teams. And hey, even over in the analyst desk, you know, a bit of tension there, a bit of back and forth. The curses from Maxman, the 7 sight lines. I'm trademarking that one. What do you reckon? 7 sight lines.
I'm gonna look in.
Yeah, like he stands behind the team and he's like, you could do that better.
You could do that. This is a bad sight line.
7 sight lines.
My sight line for you. It's not good. Not you personally.
Just in general?
Okay. Just in general.
I was going to say, what's happening?
We're heading in towards our 2nd match of the day over on Erangel. There is a lot of tension, like you said. It's going to have to be probably a massive pair of scissors. Human-sized scissors.
Like the ones you get when you go to Korean barbecue. You've got to cut the beef. Massive scissors.
Yeah. Just enlarged. Yeah.
God.
To cut the tension. Because you're right, it's thick. It's thick.
Palpable.
Yeah.
Other describing words.
Yeah.
So talk to me, Blank.
Another game.
Another game, another day. But not just any day. This is a PMWC playoffs day.
Oh, yeah.
And we're heading in from Novorossiysk up towards Severny now. 74 points for Yangon Galacticos, but look at that. That last game, Alpha Gaming puts themselves in a very good position to challenge in second place with 70 points, an exact 10-point average for them. Alpha Gaming looking very, very good. Obviously, there has been some amazing plays yesterday just in terms of survival, in terms of grit, making their way through it, continuing to put that damage out. It's nice to see Doc performing at such a level, but not necessarily just on his own. I think that Alpha Gaming has come into their own with these 4 players on side of Top, Doc, Zyol and Reefers, all incredibly well-known players representing their region. Down towards Sosnovka to start, but they have a long way to go up towards Severny, where the circle resides.
And I think it's nice for Doc as well, of course, because we saw in that opening VT where he was saying, you know, win or lose, we just want people to cheer for us. We want to do this for the fans, for the people that are watching at home from the region. And win or lose, they've been doing that as a team and as individuals. Like you said, so many of the statistical highlights there representing not one, but a couple of the players from the roster. They've been playing off each other very nicely, even in situations, Mike, where it feels like you should be at a disadvantage. They're quick to the draw today. They're looking hot, dialed in for the action, and just ready for it, which is everything you want as we're getting closer and closer to, obviously, tomorrow, the pinnacle day. They keep going like this. Wow.
Yeah. There is a bit of poignancy as well with the fact that you're saying win or lose. We just want people to cheer for us from our region. And I do think it's super important to bring that up, because in the past there has been moments where they have won, yet there's not been a whole amount of cheering, because it's a case of a lot of times, you know, Doc will go off on his own, or we'll make weird plays, we'll go for strange splits, and yeah, the game will be won, but was it won in a way that felt good? Probably not a couple of times for them over the years. And I think that here it really does feel like when they lose together, and I think you can cheer for that, knowing that they've done their best, that they went for rotates that made sense, they were aggressive when it was needed, and you can cheer for them all together. You're not cheering for one singular player at a time. This is a team that has developed nicely as this tournament has gone on. Talking about some other squads though, right now, Alter Ego quite far behind with 4th place at 49 points. It's a big drop-off, Jackie, between Alter Ego and Yangon Galacticos at 74 points, and then down towards 5th with 44 tied in place between Regnankaya and Ida, which is quite nice just in terms of storylines there for that team. But yet some teams will have to step it up, because going into our 3rd and final day, Smash rules will be in effect. Right now, you're just wanting to be as close as possible to 1st place to set yourself up nicely into day 3 on match point.
I think it's an interesting one as well, because obviously you mentioned it there with Alter Ego. It's the fact that it's been their fragging power where they've been keeping themselves towards this top spot. But it's why there is such a big point differential when you think about placements. They're not getting as deep into games as we've seen before back in the group stage. For them as well, you know, you're just the one chicken dinner, actually, which it comes back to haunt you a little bit. Teams definitely spotting them out. Yes, they can still handle themselves, and you've got a good distribution of firepower with the gun skill, but looking for some of those placement games now, like you say, try and leapfrog further up to get yourself back into a focal position towards the top spot. We get power on our screens as well. Another team that similarly, it's been down to a lot of their work when it comes to taking head-on engagements, hot drops, late game developments where you're looking at sort of 9 to 10 eliminations. But again, teams have scoped them out. They're stopping them from making it too far into the overall flow of the game. We'll see if maybe that will change here for a few of our teams.
Meantime, let's take a look on that northern side. Regnankaya currently sat fairly central, looking to push further into this one. For Alter Ego, like you were saying, placement points are a little bit of a scarcity. Definitely not like they haven't got any here, but in terms of Alva's scouting, that was the main thing that kind of made them look special in their group stages, where it was very easy for them to cut themselves away in towards that end game. definitely different here when you get to the playoffs, where you're playing against the best of the 24, right? Very much confirmed onto, well, not always those rotations are as easy as they were in the past for them. Alpha's not finding these critically unclaimed areas of the map. But still, that last game was just it's a worrying one, but also a promising one, where they get taken down essentially by Sook. He gets a shot, like you were saying before. It was a nasty one that came through over towards Rosemary and one of the players early, so it just slowed them down. Then they move up, they lose 2 on the knock, which allows Alpha Gaming a very clear approach over towards their position. That could have been an amazing game. Just a lot of little mistakes came through, which led to them just not having that opportunity. These sorts of things just can't really happen here in the playoffs, especially when you're playing 3v1 and you're losing 2 players on a knock. That must feel very frustrating. So for a lot of teams who did have those mistakes last game, day 2 is all just about being able to reset game after game after game.
Yeah, you've got no time to let yourself feel disparaged, really, in kind of your head-in-hand moments. It has got to be very quick turnaround from game to game and straight back in, just focusing on the overall run for the championship. Because obviously, as we said, as we clued up, going out a survival stage with no Alpha 7, any one of these squads has the opportunity to be crowned a new champion. You won't have the 2-time possibility, which should really reinvigorate some of the squads as well that are going into this thinking, you know what, we can push for so much here. The legacy, steal away the title, embody ourselves, be another squad that has our history made here live in Saudi Arabia.
Let's take a look at the rotations going through now. Alter Ego, they wrap round over towards Stalbert. Nice bit of high ground to get good vision on. Horror actually finding Sleepy. We have a quick knockout towards Fahidan. Guy backs it off and takes a bit of damage. Nice shots from Al-Haji, but there is a response which backs him off. This guy is going to crawl back over towards his teammates while priming another nade. And Jiggle's very worried about holding that angle there. Power's going to done a fantastic job here at keeping them at bay.
It's the last magazine for Al-Haji as well, with the shotty up close. 6 shells remaining for him. He was pre-firing on the corner, hoping they'd re-peek into it. Ooh, down to the wire there as well to go for the double back to grab Fahidan, but he will be able to pick him up. You've got cover. Hora aren't instantly engaging off for this, and there is protection at least from the rooftop side there, slightly further back. That's easy, a man that is incredibly crisp. He can take the window peek. Oh, nade over, seeing if they can get that one on target, nearly, but not quite hitting the mark.
It's one of the very, very open compounds on the northeast side of the map, just underneath Stalber. This does isolate the fight a little bit. No one's really wanting to run into this one because those sight lines are so open. Does happily contain 2 teams. For Horror, they're figuring out whether this is worth it to them, right? Is it worth it to continue this fight? It's likely not going to end up on this side of the map, and it does not as we shove over towards the western side. The good thing for Horror is they did position Power further away to the point where they could make a getaway first. So they're absolutely going to be ahead of Power in the coming moments.
Yeah, you can set up quicker, which at the end of the day will be far more worth it than running the risk of both of them scrapping it out and you limp away, even with 1 or at worst 2 knocks there if they did take down Power, or vice versa with Horror falling. So it's just not worth the risk. They call it quits, especially with the placements that they're both in 9th and 10th place at the minute. We also get vision of 4 Thrives again. Obviously, this is 4 Thrives that have really been struggling in some of these games. They took some uncomfortable early game exits back in day 1. They were able to upset Power on the hot drop here going into day 2's opening game. It's Team Secret that were near them, but you've got close grouping even with Fireflux that are moving down from the ridge side. A little bit of scouting from Scarface.
Small amount being done there. Identify where teams are playing. It's quite difficult around this area as well because there is a lot of slopes. Does deny those sight lines coming through. Information cut off a little bit. Working in the dark. Find the flashlight to figure out the pathways through. Regnum Kaya did move up from that south side slightly to the eastern edge of shooting range, which we all know is pretty horrible at times. We'll see definitely some teams get themselves lined up against that fence. Alter Ego, though, they opted to head far on the north side. They started over towards Stalber. And they're going to work that coastline over towards Severny, where Weibo Gaming on our screens are lying.
It's been nice to see, at least for Weibo as well, the way they've been able to play even when they're split. Even if it's a solo player, there's been some really good heads-up calls in terms of the impact they've been finding with the gun skill, which has been fun to watch. Obviously for them, you do need to try and push for a bit more, keep those points building. Potential to leapfrog a little bit as well with how close the grouping is there. All the way up from 8th place to just behind Alter Ego in 4th, if they could have a great day of it with some of the squads above, struggling at least into our game here.
The gas on side, refueling, getting ready to go. Quite a bit of space on the northwest edge of this map, which is unclaimed right now, Jackie. Teams will probably have to move out from Rozhok soonish, and the island that sits between Yangon Galacticos on their lineup on that southwest side. It's a pretty awkward circle a lot of times for squads. There's few areas to really post up and stay for a long time, but we're centering on shooting range. Now is actually not a bad time to pick up those buildings that sit around shooting range. You can get naded into them, and the fence around it does provide cover, but it's better than nothing.
You got Ida that almost looked a little bit camouflaged there as well, and they're late roaming towards the circle with the blue matching the actual blue itself. Thunder Talks taking a bit of damage from the side as well. That's Fireflux that have been scouting out, obviously looking for an opening opportunity to get thrown into an engagement here. You got the hovercraft for the quick getaway, so they can at least keep themselves moving. All squads still currently standing. Only one player has been removed from the equation over on the side of Falcons. They're down to a trio, but we might lose some more players here. The close quarters crash comes in. They dive out of the back of the hovercraft, but straight into the forefront of Weibo. They're able to deal some damage. Oh, ring around the rosies, but they're starting to fall down from the third party of DRX.
Now Power moves in as well, sweeps round, they get a lay of the land, figuring out where these players are. A second swipe comes through, and nades would be easy to send over towards that location. Power still figuring things out though, and opts to just send it slightly further back. Easy has the 2 nades to work with, but it's not to go in. So funny that AJ just kind of throws that hovercraft in, hoping to catch a few of them on the approach, just squash them all. Doesn't get any, and then proceeds to sit in the hovercraft thinking about what he's done.
Yeah, time to reminisce, and probably not memories that you'll really want replaying if you have that visual memory. Not ideal whatsoever, and that is how we say goodbye to our first team, at least here as well, with Thunder Talks now going down fully off the back of it. Alpha Gaming, Nonshin, Red Force here, right near each other. Obviously Alpha Gaming, and the difference is they've been able to make some heads-up calls towards the late game, whereas Nonshin, it feels like it's very aggressive PUBG Mobile, right? As soon as they catch whiff of an opportunity, they will dogpile on you and not stop.
Nonshin scary. I think that Seven was talking about on the desk how they looked great there. And I think that it's hard with Nongshim Red Force to figure out whether what they're doing is a great play or a bad play, because when it comes to those engagements, they look really good, but how many of those engagements could they have not taken and still found a good game off the back of it without having to waste resources, find bullet holes in their vests, and just move on looking a little bit more clean. Yangon Galacticos over now towards the southwest side. They've been working the problem, working the issue, and now they're holding out Ida, who did try and cross on the island. And I think they've done enough now to slow them down, to make their approach really, really hard.
Alpha caught whiff of the arena on that drive-by, but trying to dive out and actually be in a position to get the opening shots off before you lose a player was not worth it. So they've had to keep chicaning around and look for better cover to at least pull up for now. Obviously that's Weibo that are slightly off ever since they had that hovercraft crash that came their way. Fireflux might actually take the punch straight to E-Arena. Joker's been getting a lot of cover down for them, breaking up the sight lines with the smokes at least.
Ida eliminated. The Arena recalls the rest of the team back into the action. There is one knock that goes through. Fireflux do get the center of the circle on this one, on this small plateau that they're working with. I was really hoping for a shooting range finish, honestly. It would have been very fun. Sort of like a maze in there at times. Sook finding Reefus on the knock here for Alpha Gaming, who did set up, and they've been in a world of hurt for a long, long time after Thunder Talk sent in on top of them. Try to sit that hovercraft down on Weibo. K having a couple of turns of his own. Getting the 360 scope of the land.
Oh.
Wow, maybe he didn't read it as quite as well as I thought.
Yeah, not quite the full scope of the land. Didn't spot that rock, but luckily they don't punish off the back of it.
90% efficiency.
That 10% goes a long way.
There's Alter Ego. This is an interesting rotate actually, and they're rotating directly over towards Nongshim Red Force, which again, they are a terrifying team. They're still a terrifying team, even though they make mistakes sometimes. You've got to admit that their prowess when it comes to engagements, horrible to run into. Krypton immediately gets knocked down by Sleepy as well. That's over towards the north side because he was slightly late on the rotate, scouting going over towards the west, desperately trying to find an area that they could play in. At least they have information over towards Horror there, and Krypton's death was not for naught, essentially.
Rosemary, shots down range. Making that one look like the Major 14. Clean connections. It's a nice way to open it up and at least get some bite back over after the damage was done onto their team. So you take Krypton, will keep trying to take heads off of you. Quick switch to the secondary as well. Barrage of bullets keeps on coming in, and they're relatively pinned as well. Regnum Kari seeing the opportunity for this. Toshpick actually with the explosive bow as well. This one could have some sparks to it, Blank.
It could do. I mean, able to get some damage over the top. Alter Ego, they explode a vehicle, and it ends up in misery with Sleepy hitting the deck. He's going to take a nap on this one for a short while, whilst the rest of the team desperately tries to wake him up, shaking him inside that ditch.
15 arrows left. I mean, you can kind of just zone on this and nip at both of the heels. You can keep it uncomfortable for either squad. Ooh, okay. I mean, uncomfortable being the operative word for him now. Quickly, get your head down, reset.
Good shots back over towards Al-Haji, though. From Wild and Loxy. Instantaneous reaction. Horror's going to try and send some nades their way. A little bit further, probably would have found Toshpick. He's got no first aid kits. He's running on 10 bandages, which is not an ideal scenario for them. Fireflux, though, with an awesome position over towards the center. Same with E Arena. Alpha Gaming will need to circumvent shooting range. Get themselves out of there. Target practice in terms of where they'll land on the map.
In a period as well, I was curious if DRX might actually try and make a bit of a move up towards Alpha, but instead you can see the shift around. Zone comes in as well. Fireflux has been in a great spot for quite some time there. It feels like they've always had the zone on their side. 4 Thrives again, another team that's in a good position off the back of the zone shift.
It's a nice compound to work with for 4 Thrives. It's going to be critical when it comes to holding out teams on the western edge, though, right? With that building control, you have to be proactive taking those shots. Regnum Kaya makes a dangerous maneuver because they'll have to move away. One of the teams that is the furthest away from getting in towards the circle, they are bombarding it directly over towards E Arena. Shots are being sent through as that's from Alter Ego, in fact, and Mormon will pick up the pieces.
Ooh, carnage being caused. Fireflux want to hold on to their good position and deny any entrance from Regnum Karia, with Rosemary in the back confirming shots. Bahora peek back up, and it's another one from Jiggle to knock Rosemary down onto his last legs. Meanwhile, you had that head-to-head versus Power and Alpha that was going on over towards shooting range, so it's kicking off in the north. It's all happening in the center as well.
Yeah, Daybot sent away in a vehicle, was on pretty much no HP. Even one tank would take him out, and that desperate run comes to an end very, very quickly. Horror will have to move, though. 4 players all still alive is somewhat surprising from this position, and they make it work. It was an uncomfortable spot to be in, but they laid down in the dirt and finally brushed themselves off and attempt to make it further in towards this circle. Nongshim Red Force challenged them down towards the south side of the map. DRX have made like a nice little rotate, I would say. It's been slow and steady from that western side. They've been very careful of teams around them. They do find a spot to work with.
Yeah, with some of the opportunities they've been presented to potentially engage on third parties as well, I think they're just thinking about placements. They're playing a more strategic game on this one rather than being baited into anything. Power, though, have been pulling no punches. They took the crash down towards shooting range on Weibo. Now they kick off another instigation here versus E Arena, but Fireflux are right there on the precipice of being able to clean up on this one.
Fireflux has always had an opportunity to take fights over towards this side. They're never committing too much into the push though, constantly just going for something a little bit crushing in terms of teams beneath them, adding a little bit of a casualty in there, and the more teams that go down around them, the more secure their position becomes. Alpha Gaming finally makes a move of their own though. They've been up towards shooting range, they work their way through, now looking over towards E Arena as Joker goes down first, Turn EK stops off, but you can't stop for long. Redox in a 1v1, I believe, with Nongshan Red Force.
And it's a bit of a smorgasbord of errors as well from both the Falcons and Nongshan Red Force, with the self-knocks that have been coming through, making it a bit uncomfortable in the head-to-head there. One for either side. Koa gets gatted down as well, with Sleepy getting vision. Nongshan Red Force out in the meantime. Oh, shrapnel everywhere. He's been eating C4 for breakfast, and you're not breathing anymore. Just Redox behind the tree. All bark and probably no bite.
The initial nade was very well played coming through from Hora. Still have all players up, by the way. One is knocked, but they are in the process of picking him back up again. Circle moves back down towards the southwest side. And this is definitely one of those games where if 4 Thrives cannot convert on this for a chicken dinner, you're counting them out. Like, this is a massive opportunity for them.
DRX, potentially a big opportunity in this exact head-to-head versus Alpha as well. It'd be a squad you want to take down, make it more uncomfortable for them. Uh-oh, the fire and flames burning down Reefus, but top trade straight back with 2 clean tags over on the DRX, keep him pinned in position, pop up from Yunbin. This is the man that can do so much. A bit of a king in the game in PUBG Mobile, but what's he got for us here? Nice nade, bowls out. Rufus goes down off the back of it. Follow up in as well, rolling downhill. Chip damage on the dock. Meanwhile, Fireflux thrown into the head-to-head versus Aura that they're going to walk away with.
We're accelerating things big time right now with the circle pushing it over towards Alpha. M79 to drop those smokes quickly and easily to create cover for DRX to reset on this one. They still have 4 players, but not for long, as Top once again re-engages with the Mini 14 at distance. This guy is deadly. Fireflux, like you said, great engagement over towards Horror. Kind of sad we missed that one, as it was a clean sweep from Fireflux.
Play style again here as well. It's far similar to what we were seeing from Fireflux when they were really starting to dominate, where you had that back and forth between Ketch and Scarface, the way that they were taking engagements, even on the spread. They're being able to work off each other quite nicely. It's a good placement to be in. 7 elims, a ton of damage. Great zone control for the longest time. Alpha on the roam up. It's Scarface with a quick hit. He's hungry, and the dinner plate will smash over the face. Follows up. Zol down. Goodbye, Doc. Just Top. Trapped behind the tree, and the nade will finish it.
What a clean fight that was. Brought out the dishcloth and mopped that team up. And again, immediately refocusing over towards Team Secret. 2 knocks coming through in the space of bare seconds. Solus will go down, but is in cover. 10 elims on the match here for Fireflux, making it look easy on this northeast side, constantly being a big presence in the game. So weird for Fireflux as well, because you see these games pop up now and again where they just look indomitable inside the lobby. And what can you really do against them? But we need more of this. We need this to happen so much more for Fireflux. It's a lot of times where you see these games and you think to yourself, they're a shining light within inside of this lobby, and other times it's just quite dim on their side.
And I think it's those 2 players that really do bring the lumens to them. It's Ketch and Scarface. And at the minute, they're both still alive. That could be the differential factor that could help them out. You look at some of the squads that remain. I mean, the battle of attrition is far better for Fireflux. Regnum Cairo, just one man. It was Wild that was able to actually survive the push through Fireflux ages ago. He's had to keep himself down in the dirt. Hyunbin as well, trapped in. Zone shift, though. Oh, for 4 Thrives, they've been waiting for so damn long. And it's Yangon that are behind them as well, Blank. So this could cause some infighting.
For 4 Thrives, that compound is really quite good. Circle actually headed over that way. It's hard to get 4 Thrives off because not only does it provide you a lot of cover, there's a huge amount of high ground control you can get from that position, which makes it so difficult when you get to the end game where it's quite a flat space on this region. The Circle cuts out every single building, does not keep a single one in the next circle, and Fireflux have all the control on the eastern side here.
T24's POV here. There's been bullets whizzing through the windows for a while. Yangon just taking the peek over. Romeo's further out. Wild, hello. He finally makes a move with the DBS. Close quarters engagement could take Ketch out of the mix. That's going to be a bit of a sore sight for the Fireflux eyes, losing out on one of their players after what's been a blinding game for them, keeping all 4 alive for a good set of time here.
Losing Ketch is a big deal. One of the prime players on that squad. Wild, though, you can't really ever count this guy out on Regnum Kaya, especially as a solo. He is hailed as one of the best solo players in the game. Mini 14 as well as the DPS. He's got long range as well as close range on lock, but it is IQ to find that shot. Hyunbin now waiting in the wings here between them and Fireflux, and they have no idea.
Oh, Hyunbin. Belly down on the ground, sneaking up towards him. No one's got vision. Jumps up with the DBS. The right hook's good for one, but they reply. They turn around. But again, it's issues. That's all these teams had to do. If they wanted to cause problems for Fireflux taking the game itself, they go from 4-2 in the matter of a minute.
The fire is sputtering here. They need to add more fuel to the flames of Fireflux. Losing both your top players here in the matter of minutes. Scarface as well as Ketch. The other boys now need to step up. Yangon Galacticos with 4 players playing it slow on the southwest edge for a long time. They've been quiet, but now look to be deadly.
Mernat bringing the base. Bullet straight to the face. It's uncomfortable for 4 Thrives. Losing so much manpower. Falak with the peek up. Oh, target-rich environment, but the shots just don't deliver. And 4 Thrives are removed. Yangon bided their time for so long. They've engaged off the back of it and made it work. You can get the pickup as well.
This has been an assassination of a gameplay coming through from Yangon Galacticos. They played it slow, they played it steady. Teams weren't really aware of their position. They've just been holding out, waiting for their time to strike, and their time is now. A long nade comes through from Fireflux, who wrap their way around over towards the western side. Team Secret still holding on desperately. White knuckle grip on that compound towards the eastern side, but finally they have to let go.
And it really is no secret that this is the way they like playing these games. If you give them the stock to play passive, they will wait it out and go for the placements. Romeo, vision over, spots onto one, few bullets, witzing by. It's only 2 players there. They can trade off one another and opt to play this out just with the long con, with the fact they've got so much more stock in the bodies. It's Mernat that gets the first connection off.
Romeo looking to deliver the Shakespearean poison, but there will be no resurrection on the side of Team Secret when they go down. Yangon Galacticos continue to wrap. Fireflux with Mernat, with Matcap as well as Solus. 2 players that can step up. Yangon Galacticos look to roam out. Frankie in a whole world of hurt, likely to go down soon, and Yangon Galacticos are just starting to sweep here. Fireflux have had no say in the decimation that's happened around this map.
And you love to see it as well, because it's a head-up call from them. As soon as they got that first knock, they go for the controlled engagement, so not only stealing away 2 additional Elim points, but also now setting themselves up potentially for the grand prize that's just inches away from them. Coming away with this one with that first place on the chicken dinner.
Yangon Galacticos currently in first place on the rankings as well. This would push them further away from any other squad inside the lobby. They have quickly into the sightlines of Yangon Galacticos, and they're going to deny the points. It had been dawn, but now it is dusk for Fireflux, and Yangon Galacticos will be here when the sun rises, pick themselves up another chicken dinner and forcing themselves way up there in the rankings.
A team that had to fight for survival, keep themselves focused game after game, but as soon as they've made it to the playoff stage, we have seen the true potential of this beast, this unit of a squad. And I think if this doesn't start to silence people thinking potentially, is it a fluke? Is it going to slow down? I don't know what will.
There's a lot of doubters here for Yangon Galacticos. But we're just inside of their galaxy right now, and they continue to take ship after ship down here. Lasers are blaring from this team. It looks fantastic, it looks good, and it doesn't look like it's stopping anytime soon, Jackie.
No, not at all. And they embody it there with the celebrations. They wrap it up and silence the competition. Another huge win. The Galacticos is reigning supreme.
Level up your gaming experience with over 8 billion playlists, only on Spotify, the official audio streaming partner for the 2025 Esports World Cup.
And now Yangon Galacticos poses a problem to the entirety of the lobby. Is it now 15 versus 1 as they take a big victory here for the PMWC? And at the same time, whilst we're talking about that, we of course have the lovely Transformers collaboration going on in-game as well. You can have Optimus Prime, Megatron going one-on-one with each other. I love Starscream personally, but you know, anyway, that's by the by. Ease of playing, and you can get that checked out on over in the game as well, so make sure to do so. How about yourself, Max? You love some Transformers. You've got
I love the Decepticons. I've got the prize part. Yes, I do. I need to play more games to actually unlock it at the end, but I do have it purchased. I'm gonna be Optimus Prime in game.
Fantastic. But let's talk about this game, right? You got Yangon Galacticos here, 7. Now with another win on the board, they were already in first place, and they're pushing it even further.
This team is going from a surprise team to now just a sole contender for that championship going on to tomorrow. The way that they're currently playing, yes, by the way, congratulations, 19 points. But the way that this team is currently playing, Max, being able to just have splits, 3-1 splits, 2-2 splits, having Romeo getting the off angle has been so impressive to me. And another thing that has been impressive to me is how much control of a circle this team has been able to get.
The thing is, they had a great position just south, actually, of 4 Thrives. They have, like, south of their compound, you have a little bit of a hilltop, and then it goes downhill. You're very safe. The thing that annoyed me is not the way they played, is that no other team tried to take it away, that strong position over to the western side. They pretty much were given a free tick into the late game, not because it was easy mode, it's just that no one else wanted to fight them because, again, their position was so strong. And we said it, they were already looking good in the leaderboards. The fact that they're getting a win now, it's very scary when it comes to how the finals could be set up in day 3.
I'm going to be looking at some of these teams here towards the end. Non-Ship Red Force, I was hoping to see a little bit more out of them. I was impressed with what I saw out of them coming out of Sandhawk. Not the same. Also, E-Arena. I mean, that was another team that I was expecting to see even more of. Got eliminated super early on. But going back, 4 Thrives, I saw them there in the first page. Not impressed with the amount of points that they were able to get, considering the positioning that they had. I wanted them to be a little bit more proactive. I wanted them to just take charge of the compound that they had on and just start looking to see who was rotating around them, and possibly they could even try to third party from far away some fights, or try to get some eliminations from anybody rotating close by.
Like, you would think you're in a central compound, you can get a few eliminations. That compound, actually, because of the terrain around it, a lot of teams are fighting over the lips of the hill, so they can't really third party as much from a distance. The one fight I would have loved to see 4 Thrives actually take here was actually push onto Yangon Galacticos 7. They had a great opportunity to send it down there, because the game at the end, it was not going to be an easy time for them to leave their compound. You leave it onto the southern side, onto Yangon Galacticos. Teams can't really third party you. I think that would have had at least an opportunity for 4 Thrives to get into the podium finish.
100% agree with you on that. Ultimately, you have IQ getting into a vehicle, having to run away. Why not start using IQ as that man that's just scouting a little bit more for you? Not even fully send it, just start scouting to see what Yangon's doing. They were just so patient and passive, just being in the compound, that they got way too comfortable. We've been seeing way too many teams do that.
They left it a little too late, right? When you see the kind of car scout down towards the bottom, see what was going on. Maybe they were hoping for a drive over or something like that, but it was way too late to deal with. Let's take a look at some of the highlights coming in from this match as well, as there was so much fighting in the north. For example, Alpha Gaming had a little bit more room than maybe I would have given them, considering that they could have been a potential threat, and I think it was DRX that was looking to finish them off.
Yes, that was it. It was DRX. They actually got a few knocks right onto Alpha Gaming, and the fight was going really well for them. And actually, I know this is an interesting conversation Tell me more. Had during this match. DRX, despite getting knocks onto Alpha Gaming up north, they retreat. They don't fully commit to the fight. And I personally am a big enjoyer of that, because actually, if they do commit to the fight, Fireflux just nearby might want to third party it. I think playing it passive was the right call.
I disagree with you.
How dare you?
Now, the reason why I disagree with you is because I wanted them not to fully commit to where APG was, but I wanted them just to get some different off angles on those players that were knocked already from APG. In a way, I agree. You don't want them to fully commit, but just continue to get those angles. You know that Fireflux is going to be nearby. You know that you already have them in a bad position. Try to finish those eliminations for DRX. I got to give props to DRX, though. I enjoy the way that they were playing. I enjoy those 2-2 splits. I enjoy the way that they were being a little bit more aggressive and not just what we saw yesterday from them, which was just pretty much sitting in the compound, getting blessed by the circle.
It's a tough slope to play, right? I think that they believed eventually it would just come to them, because APG was stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? So it's an interesting topic to definitely discuss here, but all of these teams looking to try and get themselves further in. These Erangels, Alter Ego, still looking like they're having a good time, kind of, you know, vibing, if I had to use some of your language.
Sure.
Don't wince in pain, you know, but you know, you need to vibe more towards the top of the leaderboards, I think, to say, let's take a look at those leaderboards actually and see where they are. Stop it.
Oh,
that's brutal.
93 points at the top.
Okay, so this is a problem now for everybody else. 93 points means that Yangon Galacticos throughout this day, 3 wins on the board as well. Everybody else has to step up, and it has to happen now, Max.
Yeah, because right now, let's say we stopped right now, you add 10 points. That's 103 points to get into the Smash Zone, meaning all the teams around here would have to get about 60 to like 30 points for the teams that are on this first page, which is really hard to do that and then back it up with an actual win at the end when you do enter the Smash Zone. So Yangon Galacticos able to maintain that lead and now create an even bigger point gap. The lobby must be rinsing in fear because right now this is not a good prospect for day 3.
And the crazy part, you can see Yangon Galacticos, those 93 points, goes down all the way to 5th place with Rangnam Karya 40. That is a 46-point difference that they have been able to create. Remember what we were talking about at the beginning of the day? We don't want that first place team to get too far away because they're going to be able to get within the Smash Zone. And with the way Yangon Galacticos is playing and with the way that they have been playing throughout this whole tournament, they could end up winning via Smash Rule even though they're in first place.
They might be wiping away tears of joy with money right now because they're thinking to themselves, we're probably going to be top 3 guaranteed just off the back of what is not even technically half of the max games that we could end up going to. It is wild to see Yangon Galacticos position themselves like this.
It is such a scary setup for your last day into this one. I don't know how the rest of the lobby is going to react to this because the thing is that the teams are just struggling to make it to the late game and Yangon are just there pretty much for free every time. They're looking good and that is going to be a bad time for the other squads.
Definitely, but not a bad time for everybody watching PMWC right now because starting from August the 1st, which technically was yesterday, that's actually factually yesterday, the PDP Global Fashion Icon Contest is officially kicked off. This competition accepts both in-game outfit design submissions and participating by showcasing real-life outfits for you to wear. So use your sense of fashion to influence the world. The top prize pool can reach up to $120,000, which is exciting. That's a lot of money. To participate on view details, please visit the PDP section on the official PUBG Mobile website or follow official social media accounts. Well, thank you, boys. We're going back into the grassy pastures. Can anyone stop Yangon Galacticos?
No.
PDP, very, very fun there in my opinion, honestly. Always one of my favorite parts of the year, seeing all the fashions and designs being on show. But I'll tell you a team that's looking good right now. It is Yangon Galacticos. There were some non-believers, but I think we've been swayed at this point, honestly. We do have teams chasing them, battling for the top, looking consistent also. Alpha Gaming looking fairly nice right now. Fireflux is a team that concerns me though, Jackie. They have these moments of pop-offs and then it just slowly goes awry in their other games. They need more consistency and I think that is the thing that's hurting them.
No, I agree. I agree. You know, it feels like that team genuinely has so much firepower, a great dynamic, but the problem is there's 2 big heads on that 4-headed beast. And when you lop them off, it feels like the stock, the communication, the power level very quickly begins to scale down. And it's terrifying because, as we've just said, right, even for the non-believers that are maybe now starting to be enlightened by the power of Yangon, wow. With them playing like that and some of the other teams that are bubbling to a brim blank, looking like, you know, they've got the boxing down. They're able to hit you with a... You've got to be scared. You've got to be worried. You can't be on the back foot because they're going to knock you over and KO you.
You do not want that to happen, so you need to re-deliver an uppercut straight to Yangon, or at least these rankings, because we do need to get further upside here. We have a vertical uppercut of a plane path coming through up towards shooting range again. For DRX, after PMGC with D+, it is nice to see that region continue to pop off in these international tournaments. So easy, making it look pretty easy at times, and it's nice the way that they're currently playing out on their rotations and the late games. The Yangon Galacticos feeling like a true edge team now, though, which is very, very sweet to see. I think there's not a lot of teams that really play like that here in this lobby. It's very, very slow paced at times, but calculating and strategic towards that end game. And when Yangon saw that opportunity, they took it. And they didn't go out that game without a lot of eliminations either. They were really quite good at sweeping where everyone else had taken a lot of casualties. They realized that, look, if we could just maintain 4 players, we're going to have a fantastic time towards that end game, because a lot of other teams will have fought against one another. And the thing that popped all that off was a very early decision to hold out towards Westbridge on Rozok. It was from minute 10 that they'd been setting that up, so it looked very, very cool. In the meantime, we're going to have a hard southwest circle with a lot of water in it, so most teams likely will be outside the circle for some time, Jackie, just getting looted.
Yeah, have that opportunity to get looted, suited and booted inside of the blue as it ushers you further forward with those early zones, just kind of tickling you rather than really denting you. Man, it's kind of impressive when you actually look at the split there. Obviously trickling down, right, from Yangon that are on screen now with 93 points, closest second being Alpha on 77. It's that mid portion that is a bizarre level of leapfrog capability. Power on 41, all the way up to Regnum Karia, just behind Alter Ego in 4th place there on 47, tied with Fireflux. Like, the opportunity for some of these teams to shift is gargantuan, but it's the point vacuum of Yangon that really makes it so terrifying. Because as much as you can power struggle amongst each other, trying to overtake them, if this day continues, it is going to need everything from all 4 players on your squad.
It's terrifying. It really is terrifying. I mean, you speak the points vacuum, and they have been creating a ridiculous vacuum over towards the top side of things. If you look at 11th place to 4th place, it is a 10-point difference. That kind of optic is just wild to even utter out loud. So there is a lot of interchangeability on these rankings, but the further Yangon Galacticos gets ahead, the worse it's going to become for teams on the final day, where match point is realistically just not achievable until match 3, match 4, in which case Yangon Galacticos can reach those heights nice and early and just close out the entire tournament there and then. It's also worrying because it's not like Yangon Galacticos is not getting a ton of chicken dinners, the thing that will initiate the Smash ruling.
I think everyone's backs are going to be up, everyone's eyes are going to be dialed in. But for some teams, the decision-making changes a little bit when you realize, look, we not only need to start to win these games and play better individually, but we need to target these fights a bit more. We need to control who's actually getting the outcome of points off the back of the games. We'll see if it will be a bit of a bumpy ride, though, to start off. We're here on the night bus as we crash in with Regnum Karia. You had the bypass from Yangon, bit of a split up. I think it was Romeo inside of the ruins. Kind of fitting, actually.
Yep. Will not be heading down over towards the crypts though, and this time Romeo will survive as Regnum Karia passes on by. Like ships of the night there, they won't come into contact with one another. Yangon Galacticos, Romeo sees another day. But a nice rotate, in my opinion, from Regnum Karia, and this is a great time to unleash bullets from Romeo. It's the final player. He knows it's the final player as well from Regnum Karia to move through, so why not take a couple of shots? Maybe you can weaken a team that's going in front of you with the M249. It was a great opportunity for him.
Yeah, it was a good engage. I mean, the thing is, you'd be singing his praises if he was able to isolate just Loxy there. No one would have been anywhere near being able to turn their heads on a swivel and get back in time to pick him back up, so we could have grabbed that one. Takes the engage at a smart opportunity. Neither side gets what they wanted, though.
It's cool, though, because I think a lot of teams, if they were Romeo in that situation, they would have just been glad to get out of there, you know, unspotted. But Romeo's thinking about what's the next step. What's the next step for me here is to try and weaken a team ahead. That's how he can do it. And again, that's the big thing that makes Yangon Galacticos so good, is just that proactive nature. And I think that we've talked about them so much, and you're probably getting quite bored of us talking about them, but there is a lot to say about this team that other teams can learn from.
No, it's true. It's been great decision-making. And I think that's the nice thing as well, because it feels like all the individuals have had their moments, whereas, you know, we've seen some of our squads where that's been a bit of a bigger issue, right? It feels like it's top-heavy with 2 or 3 players in some teams that have been able to really excel, but the weaker links are pulling the chain apart, and you can't have that, especially now, the position we're in the tournament, with how it's going as well on the day. Yeah, everyone's got to shape up, get yourself in position quickly. For Power, there's been some very high highs, but similarly, we've had some lows as contrast for them. It's Weibo's